Company that specializes in semiconductor technologies for high voltage power conversion. Joining us now to discuss the company's fourth quarter earnings and the outlook, President and CEO Balu Balakrishnan joining us.
Thank you, Nicole.
Coming up next, it's time for the disruptor. George, this is an amazing one because it had that November high of nearly 350 and then it was down and then this big gap up. What's going on here?
Well, Nicole, there's a lot of volatility in the markets, but I think that
every day with George Sillis. Thank you, George. Good to see you. Thanks.
You bet, Nicole. Thanks.
Coming up, we've got to dive into this. And even the price hike beautifully today for the stock. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the price hike.
Is it noise? Are we getting the real Amazon outlook picture?
Well, I wouldn't call
here?
it noise, and Amazon doesn't really discuss
Your thoughts?
Well, just to build on on Dan's thesis and your own.
Jim, you are great. Thank you. Jim Keller of Argus and Dan Romanoff of Morningstar. Thank you. Thanks you, friends, for being with me here on this Friday, Trading 360, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you at 2 p.m. for the watch list. I'm Nicole Petallides. Fast Market. It's next. Debuting at the New York Stock Exchange with a SPAC, moving forward here in the world of EV batteries. Why now? Why today? And what's the outlook?
Sure. I mean, the global EV movement is
SES, so we can watch for that. And this is all about rechargeable batteries. As you said, the move to EVs and the enthusiasm surrounding that going forward. And you're working with all of these big names, right? And continuing to expand. Even since this summer, I saw that you've already made, more expansion plans.
Yes. Yes. Since the summer, we've added
getting rare earth and nickel and all the things that are needed. And if there is enough of that material, particularly in Asia, I know they have a lot, but, is there enough to meet the demand?
Yeah, so I think the first question in terms of powering the
old batteries and sort of refurbish them and try to make these batteries new again. Is that something that's of interest to you, a competitor to you, or a non-event because you're putting out the best product, the best batteries, and that's not anything you even think about?
So I think when you say refurbish,
I have some conversations about that recently, and they were talking about recycling these batteries. So that being said, what would be your goal in the next 6 to 12 months as you continue to expand with these great companies, the automakers, I'm saying? I'm sure you're working closely with all of them. Many of you wish you could develop and push out everything faster, whether it's factories or supply chain or chips or anything. I mean, is there stuff slowing you down that as somebody who's a creator and a founder here, you're really trying to get everything out faster yesterday? To speak with you, congratulations to you and your team, your debut at the New York Stock Exchange. Chi-Chow Hu, thank you, of SES AI Corporation. SES is the ticker symbol. Thank you very much. Great to chat with you.
Thank you very much.
Give us some updates. Thanks. Still ahead in the second half, senior research analyst at Robo Global to tell us all about health tech. Describe this landscape. Is now the time here for this area?
Absolutely. Just to give you an example, if you were to use the H-Tech ETF as a prop.
Here you looked at the positive fundamentals of the group and names that we know well. People may not even realize that this includes names such as Illumina, Intuitive Surgical, just to name a few. When you look at the breakdown within H-Tech or looking at this group overall, there's certain names that you like more than others? Or do you think this is something to get in now and dollar cost average in over many ways because they are creators, they're doing what we need as far as health, and it includes this technology element. In the meantime, we've had headwinds for stocks overall, whether it's rising rates, all things COVID. Those headwinds are real, right? And even for this group, through the notes, I mean, that's where this innovation comes in. And, we used to talk about research and development, but now this is development and moving into a more technological world, right? Robotics and laparoscopy and everything that goes with it. When we think about the old, I think that you did a great job sharing your passion and knowledge in areas that we don't know fully and understand. I mean, I've spoken with experts and people developing where you would take your blood rather than having an invasive removal of a tumor, for example, right? So then you could detect cancer in that way, which is exciting. But understanding these better now today with your help, we appreciate that. H-Tech is what we should be watching with this ETF. Nina, thank you very much. It's great to see you. Nina Deca, Senior Research Analyst over at Robo Global. Thank you. Wedbush Securities, and Nathaniel Bradley, CEO, co-founder, Data Vault Holdings. Thank you both for being with us. So many of the companies, Matt, have been citing the shortages that we've seen in the chips sector. I mean, there's no secret there. At this point now, we look at all the different types of chips and all the different kinds of companies using chips. And we've even gotten some rosy pictures, right, from the likes of GM, for example, saying, oh, it looks like it's getting better. Is it really getting better? What do we need to know here when we look at this group?
So I think it's all really relative.
And companies, do you focus on more than others because of what they provide to the market?
Well, I like two Arizona companies.
Ones at that, in the fact that they're pumping out exactly what people need right here at home as well. As you take a look here, Matt, and you see some of those names that we were just talking about, such as onsemi, Avnet, and Qualcomm, you have several other names that are also on your radar. Which ones do you like best and why? Because of how they are positioned.
Yeah, so
Nathaniel, your thoughts? You see the demand continuing, and so that will continue to give these companies the demand and pricing power going forward. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Matt.
Nice to see you both. I appreciate it. Nathaniel and Matt, a great conversation. You could always look at ETFs with all these names too. Matt Bryson and Nathaniel Bradley, great conversation. Thank you both. And thank you, friends, for being with me here on the watch list. Keep it right here. Market on Close is next, and I'll be there with you.